They moored a ways out from the shore and rowed in. The first thing Reckerman noticed was the dire-boar walking on the sand. Captain Mayhaps pulled the longboat up onto the shore and they walked towards the smoke. The dire-boar ran back into the woods and sounded a loud squeal as it clearly met its demise. Out of the woods stepped a mountain of a woman, with the same bony plating as the dire-boar. She held up a club and stared the captain down as a few more people like her approached, all with the same bone-like plating. Dire humans? Rogers asked. The villagers snarled in disgust as their leader held out her club and declared, "Rush them."
I just don't understand why you had to punch it.
I had to, okay? It keeps disrespecting me, and it needs to be taught a lesson.
Are you talking about that bird again?
I'm pretty sure it's that same bird again, yes.
Oh my god, and who's this?
It's my daughter.
You have a daughter?
Hi.
Yeah, I'm almost positive we discussed this.
If we did, I didn't catch it.
The more pressing matter is that bird, I hope, finally knows who's boss and will stop interrupting us.
Is it still alive?
I mean, it flew away. They're not good at flying, but yes.
Birds?
The wall-eyed derp.
Oh. What's a walleye derp?
It's about the size of a cantaloupe, maybe a little bit smaller.
Okay.
Super colorful, and its eyes are too big for its skull, so they kind of point out, like at the walls.
Okay.
They makes them really bad at flying. And it doesn't help the fact that they're delicious.
And also apparently really disrespectful?
And loud.
I can attest to that one.
Now that one hopefully knows not to bother us anymore, so Azuria won't have to come back and scold me. But either way, I'm Sam.
I'm Recorder.
I'm Tara.
And this is Recorder and Sam. What's washed up in Inundatia? So we have new information, which is non-information.
Okay.
The lighthouse is still not back.
Is there any more clues we can go off of, or is it just kind of MIA?
Currently, MIA. We
All
do
right.
not know where this building has gone.
And it's not just like hidden somewhere. I know we talked about it in the past where you could just, I thought lattice, you could just pick up pieces of it and move it somewhere else to rearrange. That's not what happened, right?
It has not been officially moved.
Okay.
Town Hall is asking us to find it.
Okay.
So they don't know where it went.
So it's essentially another kidnapping, but a building napping.
I mean, I guess it's a weird way to put it, but yeah.
I mean, I feel like you'd be the expert on that, so.
On stealing buildings?
People, but no.
One time.
Several times.
2 times.
You admitted to it the last time.
Yeah, so 2 times. And we can even scratch one of those off, because Lenny doesn't care anymore.
That is true. That one has been pardoned, I guess.
So now it's just down to 1 again.
I still think that's wrong, but sure. Yeah, it's that one.
So we definitely need people to help us out with this. Having a missing building of this level of importance is kind of a big deal. Makes travel in the harbor, especially at night, basically impossible.
Right. And is there any more information, though? Because I feel like if we still have nothing to go on, we can't really point people in the right direction.
The only report we have to go off of is that people say they've been seeing a light far out at sea at night. And if it's close enough to the surface of the water, I'm going to assume it's not the moon. Maybe they're mistaken and it's a reflection, but if it's a bright enough light, maybe someone moved the lighthouse out?
Maybe. I mean, it could just be simple as it's a ship that's just a ship that's been anchored there.
Portable lighthouse?
Portable lighthouse.
All right. I mean, that could be helpful, but maybe that's a lead we go off of.
I guess if it showed up about the same time the lighthouse went away, there's no harm in going out to check. I'd be careful if it is a large enough ship to make a light that big.
But this is about all the information we have. This is it's a bigger problem than we thought it was going to be, not being able to traverse the ocean at night like that.
I mean, Lattice sounds like it's a bustling city, so if you can only come in and out of it half as frequently as before, it's probably going to make for some traffic in the harbor that makes, when you can navigate it, even more difficult.
And this is why we got to get this fixed.
Now, is it safe to assume this lighthouse is still in one piece?
No, I don't know. I have no idea if any of that.
So, do we need to find it, or do we just need to start rebuilding one?
With how it's gone missing, I imagine finding it's the easier option, because we could probably just put it back.
That's fair, versus building it from scratch, even with magic, is going to take a long time.
It's still going to take a while.
Okay. I gotta stop saying, okay.
The other thing that I had found out is that I suppose it's kind of like what happened before, but an old hero got resurrected.
Another one.
Not unpetrified,
Okay.
but resurrected. We knew this guy died,
And he was brought back to life.
and he is brought back to life.
All right, is he still himself?
Seems to be so far, though he's seen... There's a different kind of problem with this one.
Okay.
Firstly, the rumors have it that it was the Church of Oladamara.
Oladamara. Okay.
Are you familiar with...
I'm not familiar with any of the gods.
All right. Oladamara, he's not a bad guy. He's known as the Laughing Rogue. He's kind of all about it himself, so I suspect that they're trying to see if stories were true. Very much in his forte for finding out if stories and the loot's there kind of a thing. Bring the guy back, find out where he left any of his stash.
Oh, okay. Kind of personal treasure hunting.
Yeah. Well, they brought back Johnathan the Great.
Johnathan the Great.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, he doesn't sound like a bad guy, potentially.
No, and when he corrected them, he goes by John Smith.
John Smith.
John Smith.
Not Johnathan the Great.
Not Jonathan. It's John. He says his name is John Smith.
Okay.
So we're going to have to look into that a little bit.
Yeah. Is he just not remembering all his heroic deeds?
He's been dead a good while, so there's a chance he just doesn't remember. I mean, he is literally back from the dead.
Right.
But, you know, maybe they got the wrong person too?
There is that. I mean, how long ago was he naturally alive?
Yes.
Okay, so some
a while.
historical records might not be accurate.
I'm pretty sure exhumed is the wrong word. I want to be careful. I'm not trying to throw any blame at the church. I'm pretty sure this was they got the permits for this. This is all allowed.
You can
yeah.
get a permit to resurrect somebody?
I mean, if you're the high priest of a church,
Huh.
maybe it's not a permit. I don't know. I'm not a high priest.
Is this something that happens a lot?
Apparently. I mean, this is the second case that I've heard of, and we've only been doing this for not really all that long.
And I mean, it's really the first time. The other time was a depetrification. This was a resurrection. They're different.
They're different, but fundamentally, it's a person who didn't exist anymore that is now forward in time from their point of view.
Yeah, but this guy was like really, really dead.
Yeah, no, he
And
died.
they just fixed that.
Yeah, he just stopped being dead.
Huh.
Did
Shit.
they have to rebuild him?
No, that's the difference between a necromancer and a cleric. A necromancer will bring the body back up, so the body's still there. Sometimes it's a skeleton, sometimes it's a zombie. It's not pretty. When a cleric does it, there's a body that is kind of put back in place.
Okay.
He's still old, don't get me wrong, but he's not like an animate corpse.
Okay.
He's a person again.
Right.
He has his memory, he has everything that was there when he died. He's just not dead. That just stopped being a true statement for him.
But you have to have a permit to do that.
I feel like you should, otherwise, why wouldn't, like...
Yeah, why doesn't everybody do
Yeah,
that?
why doesn't the church just go resurrect more people to follow? Like, why wouldn't you just go resurrect all your old worshippers?
I don't like that. Because that means wars would never be done if you can just freely resurrect people like that. Oh, my platoon died. Nope. Magic over there. They're back.
Well, that kind of goes into what your species' purpose was.
Right.
It was to cut down on that cost. Resurrection isn't cheap. There's a material component that goes into the spell, so it's not like you can just do it willy-nilly, but if you get enough people together, I don't see why you couldn't all chip in and do it, get one person back, and then when that person decided it was time, they could chip in and help get another person back, and it still doesn't seem entirely unrealistic, except for the fact that now it's getting kind of creepy as every church is just resurrecting people.
Yeah, what's going on with that? Are these like the... I don't know what the right word is here. It's not mascot. Forerunner?
That's also a bad word, but I think in this specific case, Oladamara is after stories, and I think they're looking to see what this guy can tell them about where he might have stored any potential loot.
Okay. I understand that. Oladamara likes stories. Does that mean we should be careful?
Potentially.
Because it seems to me like if they want stories in this day and age, this might be the best source of... just one source of several stories. Because even though we're presenting it as news, I mean, some of these things that have happened in the recent past are going to go down as stories, at least from what I have to assume. Some of these things are groundbreaking and...
But we're kind of arguing the difference between what we traditionally think of as rogues and bards. Your average rogue isn't someone who has built up their body. They've built up their flexibility. Mm-hmm. It's not a fighter. It's someone who's much more agile.
Right.
Someone who isn't necessarily looking to sing a song and tell a story, but needs the story to go find something.
Okay.
Whereas a bard is happy to tell the tale and make the money from that.
That's fair, but I was thinking more of, if you are obsessed with stories, would you rather eat a book or would you rather eat a library?
I think you're taking it a step too far. I wouldn't say obsessed. This seems to be a path to loot.
Okay.
The story is just kind of the medium to get there.
Okay.
When John Smith, I guess, died.
Super unimpressive, by the way.
Yeah. When he passed, his stories went with him.
Okay.
So bringing him back is a means to get them directly from the source.
But he doesn't remember them, right? Or does he?
I haven't heard that much about that. I was hoping we could get somebody to go peer in on this, because it's a little suspicious from the start.
I thought they said he was great, but he doesn't remember that he's great or something.
I think what happened was they resurrected Johnathan the Great, and he corrected them in John Smith.
So they've got the right guy. It seems like history remembers him more fondly than what was needed.
This was only a day or two ago. I've only heard stuff through the grapevine, and without Teddy, it's hard to get new information.
That's true.
So hopefully we will get some actual information on this, and we haven't resurrected a mass murderer.
That would be great.
John Smith is a pretty good name for a mass murderer, because how are you going to find him? Hey, who's really good with knives? Only works so many times.
I don't get it.
I mean, if you're a mass murderer and you use knives, how proud are you going to be of that fact?
Very.
You're going to show it off to everybody?
Show what, the murders?
Your prowess with knives? If we know the mass murderer uses knives, and suddenly you're demonstrating this exceptional prowess with knives?
Oh, okay.
It's almost like that draws attention to you when you don't want that.
But it could also be a red herring, you don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Not everybody who's good with knives is a mass murderer. Some people mass murder with a club. That's also true.
What if the murderer hires somebody else who's really good at knives to do their knife stuff so that it draws attention away from the murderer?
Well, that's a hit.
A mass hitter?
No, if I hire somebody to kill somebody...
No. They're just gonna, do some tricks and show how good
okay.
they are.
So So the mass murderer just hires somebody he knows is good with knives to go put that fact out there so it draws attention to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the murderer can do as much knife stuff as he wants and he's safe.
Is there what is the term for that?
I want to say an alibi, but that's not right.
Mook?
That would be a mook, I'll give you that.
That's not a racial slur, is it?
I hope not.
I hope not.
So yeah, my trust in Oladamara is only about as far as the loot trail goes.
What were to happen if he doesn't have any loot? If he's as unimpressive as we thought, and what loot he would have is just as equally unimpressive, seems to me like that could potentially be a problem.
I wouldn't say it's a problem, because that's the inherent risk. They know the story, and they know it's a story. There's always the chance it could go wrong.
And they just chalk it up as a loss rather than trying to make something out of nothing?
It's not necessarily only a loss. He has his own stories. If this is the correct person, but he's not as impressive as they think he is,
Yeah.
well, then maybe he knew someone else. There's other leads to potentially get. It's not just a loss. It's new information.
Okay.
I don't think anything terribly negative will come of it, short of there's now an elderly would-be hero, not lost to time, but effectively lost to time.
I can relate. But we might want to be careful going forward, knowing that this god is poking around.
I wouldn't say poking around. I think this is very in line with Oladamara. I think it's... I think that's your suspiciousness latching on to stories and stories, as opposed to the truth of it, which is much more loot to loot.
Okay, because we have mentioned about my pile.
I was about to say, the only connection is that you have a pile of stuff over there with some maybe value.
And whatever Azoria has been putting in there behind my back.
But that really just winds up with it being, they might steal from your pile.
Okay.
Or maybe if you die, they would bring you back to get the stuff out of your pile. So maybe it would be good.
Maybe we play it up a little more.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I think you've got some pretty good stories. Hey, maybe we get a free extra life here.
Yeah, kinda.
All right, we could potentially use that to our benefit.
Just play up the size of your junk.
The junk is huge.
And just low-hanging fruit.
There we go.
Anyway.
Speaking about extra lives, you brought a specific one with you. So, Tara, what's it like having Sam as a father?
That's a bad segue. I don't like that.
Why not? That's why I'm here, right? Because I'm your kid.
I mean,
That's your...
literally that's why you're here, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to be the guest we talked to this time.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't...
Unless this is take your daughter to work day.
I don't want to say I couldn't find anybody else. That's a cheap shot, and I don't want to take that shot. I figured why not spend some time with her?
As opposed to spending time with a person in the woods.
I mean, I work a lot.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times I hang out with the bugbears.
Hop, Schnapps, and Barley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do a lot for me. They're good friends.
Including raise your daughter?
I wouldn't say raise. Babysit is more appropriate.
Okay.
It's not babysit. Okay.
It was at one point.
That brings up another question. How old are you?
I'm 13
13, okay.
and a half.
And a half. So being that you're 13 and a half years old, and being the daughter of a man as well-traversed as Sam, have you been on any adventures yet?
Well, I haven't gone super far, but we've been out in the woods and seen some stuff.
All right, well, everybody's got to start somewhere.
And done some things.
She may not remember it, but she's traveled the continent pretty well.
I assume that means she's traveled with you?
Yeah, before I settled down and really started working pretty much just in lattice on lattice,
right,
she'd come with me whenever we sailed around the continent of lattice.
And what was that like for you growing up?
I don't remember a whole lot of it, but...
Just because you can remember the date of your birth doesn't mean that's how humans work.
Yeah, I do forget that sometimes.
I was really small.
But, what was the most exciting thing you've done in, say, the last year or so?
One time we saw a phoenix.
Was it the same phoenix that was catching fires to the city?
You know, I never really put two and two together. That's a distinct possibility.
It was really pretty.
She's right. They're awesome birds.
So you saw the phoenix and then knew about buildings catching fire and didn't put two and two together?
Years ago. That's not necessarily like it happened a week ago and then we just didn't talk about it. Oh yeah, I saw this guy murdering a bunch of people. I wonder if he's the murderer.
Because I did say in the last year, yeah, we saw a phoenix in the last year. Sam, what the fuck?
Oh, maybe I'm just not paying attention. Sometimes I don't do that. I'm really bad at that. That's why it took us a month and a half for me to bring a table out here?
That is fair. It didn't really bother me, but if I had known, I would have mentioned it a lot earlier.
Yeah. Well, we were just hiking, and it was this big mountain. And
I think it was at about the base of the North Mounts.
Probably.
Okay, the north or south base.
It would be the east base. The North Mountains are the range in the north, and the South Mountains are the range in the south, and they run east to west.
Yeah, but you can have a north base of a north mountain, a south base of a north mountain.
It's a mountain range, not a single mountain.
Still applies.
I just remember seeing the phoenix come right up over the mountain and then up over our heads, and it was all, you know how they are, all fiery and golden, and it was just really pretty.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I just, I guess I haven't really done all that much in my life yet. But Hopsh and Schnapps and Barley, they said that I'm pretty good at fighting. So that's one thing I have, because, I'm small, so I have to be able to protect myself. So they taught me some things.
Getting combat props from a bugbear is a pretty solid thing, especially if you're, only 13 years old.
Yeah,
they've been kind of half training her for a while.
That's awesome.
They showed me this one spot right next to your clavicle. You just kind of jam your fingers right in there.
Maybe we don't share those on air. Maybe we be a little bit more vague, so we're not. This isn't a how to defeat a bugbear show.
Well, I didn't really think of it like that.
We're trying to appease, everybody. We're trying to be fair and reasonable to anybody who may listen to this, and we don't need it to be specifically, oh, here's how to defeat your enemies. This one specific enemy that I don't like. That being said, that's not bugbears. Just want to throw that out there. I feel like that was the path I was walking down, and I want to clarify that immediately.
Yeah, bugbears are cool.
I mean, I've only heard great things about hop, schnapps, and barley, so... I mean, I have fought bugbears in the past, but I've heard of more better ones, if that makes any sense. So it seems that bugbears are a bigger part of society now than they were back when I was fighting them.
A lot of goblinoids have adapted to city life pretty well. Goblins, most of all, it's a high turnover rate. Their lifespans are not particularly long, so it was easy to kind of work that in. Bugbears seemed more adept. Bugbears seemed more adaptable. They were more happy. They were more eager to change to city life. Their physique and abilities tend to work well for construction, and the ones that have a better demeanor, as low a blow as that can be, do really well with that. Hobgoblins a little less so. They're a bit more uppity. They're a bit more violent. They tend to have a harder time adapting to society. So it's really hit or miss with each individual species. Like with the lizard folk we just welcomed into the city.
Yeah.
Sometimes a barbaric race does not maintain that perfectly.
Right.
Some of them need a different place to go, a better environment to thrive, and Lattice is usually that for some people. And in this case, hop, schnapps, and barley have taken to it quite well.
Yeah, they're super nice. They make me drinks all the time.
Like alcoholic drinks?
Yeah.
This is news to me. How long has this been happening?
I don't know. I think they started when I was like 11 or so.
Okay.
It's been a while.
All right. I'm gonna have to chat with them later. Let's delve a little deeper into this. What does it taste like?
Great. They're
Yeah, but great isn't a flavor. Grape is a flavor. Like, what does it feel like?
what does it feel like?
Yeah.
Like taking a drink. You
But like taking a drink of water, or
Well, no, it's not like water. It's not plain. It's like
I see.
there's they'll mix some things together and there'll be like a bubbly one, or sometimes they'll just give you a little cup with just a little something in it and you have to drink that all at once.
yeah, shots. I get that.
Yeah.
But does it taste like apple juice, or does it have like a sting to it?
It tastes great. It's like it's kind of like apple juice, but there's other flavors in it too.
Okay, so, all right, I think I'm okay with this.
Why would it
I think you're
sting?
safe.
I think we're good. Nope, that's fine. We're good. Feel free to keep doing shots. We're fine.
They're always really impressed by how many I can do.
I can imagine. You are my daughter. I hope that's a trait I could pass on.
I see where you're going with that, though. They're making her drinks, but they're not actual drinks.
No, they're actual. They're actual drinks.
Really?
Yeah.
Look into my eyes.
They
All
make-
right, right at eye level. They are actual drinks. We are all set. There's
Okay.
nothing wrong here.
Yeah, everything's all set.
They make theirs, and then they make one for me, and then we all hang out together and play some cards, or, play other games and have
They'll
a good
drop
time.
them to their knees.
Illegal drinking, illegal
yeah.
gambling, fighting rings. It's
Some
fine.
sparring.
Hops, schnapps, and barley sound like real great role models.
They are. They've taught me so much.
I think you're a little more out of touch than you might be. Than you might think you are, Recorder.
How so?
I'm getting a little better at reading you, and I'm not sure that any of this has actually tracked. We'll check up on this later. all
Okay.
right? I'll come back out and we'll have a nice heart to heart, and you'll understand what's going on.
Okay. All right.
I think you're asking the wrong questions, because she can absolutely taste alcohol and you can't.
Oh yeah. Have you ever had alcohol before?
No.
So are you really one to judge?
Yeah. Yeah. You don't even know what it's like.
No, but I've been around people who know what it's like.
You're doing a podcast with one.
That is true.
So maybe don't be too judgy about this.
So other than hops, schnapps, and barley, who else works at the Drunk Duck?
Yeah, they do a lot of the legwork. We have our main chef, Goban Drockstein.
Okay. Is he, you said main chef, so he has a staff?
Yeah, there's we have a few chefs. Hop, Schnapps, and Barley will occasionally help out, but he's there pretty much every night.
Okay. See, I've only heard about Hop, Schnapps, and Barley and yourself from time to time, so how many employees are in the Lattice Drunk Duck?
Like, on the roster or at any given time?
I guess at any given time, on a random night.
11 counting me.
Oh, that's a lot bigger than I thought it was. I assumed Hop, Schnapps, and Barley and maybe one or two other people were all the staff that there was.
No, the tenders do a lot out in the actually in the restaurant. But we have got a dishwasher, we have a couple cooks, we have more than just Barley at the bar.
Okay. So tell me about this cook.
Yeah, Goban. I met him better part of 70 years ago at this point. Just an aspiring chef that didn't do a whole lot of work out in Kirk.
Okay.
And you gave him the chance, and he's worked out great.
He makes really good pancakes.
He does. He's really good at breakfast foods. I like his scrambled eggs the best.
I don't know what food is.
That's fine. Yeah, no, he's really good at seasoning, which isn't appreciated quite as much in Dwarven culture. It's a bit more hard and fast over there. What it is. As far as like cooking goes, preparation's different. Jerk meats tend to go over pretty well. But no, as far as like a nice, solidly peppered set of scrambled eggs and a pancake bigger than and a couple of pancakes bigger than your face. You said he's really good at breakfast. There's not really a solid menu. It's a lot of it's by request.
Okay.
Which is why we tend to go through chefs a lot. They don't tend to be able to keep up quite so well. It's a good starting point.
So would you say that breakfast is an important meal?
I mean, I don't particularly like it. I'm not usually awake enough for breakfast at the time, but, you know, eat it if you got it. If you're given breakfast, are you going to not eat breakfast?
Well, I can't eat breakfast.
That's not true. You can. You can't taste breakfast.
I mean, yeah, I can put food in my body. Doesn't mean it goes any further in than my mouth.
It's still eating. You can mash it up.
But is it really eating if you can't enjoy it, taste it, or poop it out when you're done?
See, you say that, but I've met Warforged who enjoy eating.
And they're wrong.
But is it really wrong if it's routine? If it's something they enjoy doing?
But I am also a Warforged. And from my point of view, that would never work into my routine because it has no purpose. I do not get any kind of benefit from eating, and I wouldn't even classify as what I do eating. It would just be flattening it until it crumbles out of my jaw.
Okay, then what is the good of what we're doing here? You don't get any direct benefit from it. We're not getting paid.
He can hear.
I can hear, I can converse, and this isn't necessarily for our benefit. It's for the benefit of the citizens of Lattice and the world, whoever can hear this.
Yeah, but again,
I got a friend out of it.
That's fair, and thank you. I've met Warforged and the slightly rare Reforged who actively enjoy eating. They don't necessarily eat a lot or eat often, but it's a practice. It's an event. Is really what it comes down to. I imagine many of them don't do it on their own, but it's something you do socially. If you're at a table with 10 people and you're the one not eating, sitting there unmoving, waiting for them to finish, is that more comfortable than pretending that you can do so? Than having something small that you can participate with?
In this situation, there's 10 people eating, or 9 people eating, and I'm also there, and not a word is being said.
No, there's conversation happening.
I'm participating in the conversation, not the food. It would be wasted on me. If a chef is amazing at their craft, it'll be lost on me. I can't appreciate the value of a, as you said, well-seasoned piece of meat. That'll go over my head.
I suppose. I was speaking specifically of something simple, not ordering the finest thing on the menu, but yeah, you know what? I suppose I don't have as solid an argument here as I thought. I know those who like to eat. It's a thing they do. You can go ahead and not do that. That's fine. You are in your right to do that.
I just don't see not the appeal. I see the appeal. I mean, if something, I don't really know what taste is, but I assume that's kind of an addictive sense to have. But for me, it's pointless, so I don't really do anything that's pointless.
I don't think that's true.
You might not see the point.
Could be pretty blunted as well, but, you know, if you jam the back end of a stick hard enough at anybody, I'm sure you'll pierce them.
Yes, you will.
I don't not have a sense of taste, so I don't know what it's like to not taste something.
Yeah, and I'm sure if I could taste, my whole perception on that would change.
We still should get a transmuter out here and give you an actual, like, flesh and blood body for a little bit.
See, I've been thinking about that, and while that would be an amazing experience, I feel like it'd be too fragile.
Yeah, I mean, I bleed. That's what happens.
Yeah, I don't really do that at the moment.
My brain went, you should see how often children bleed. But, yeah, exactly. The fact that both of you just kind of looked and went, ugh. I mean, it's true. Kids fall down and get hurt all the time.
Yeah, but you're making it sound like you're slitting their throat.
Yeah, I'm making it sound like I'm going and beating up children.
Yeah, I won a lot of money from Goban once. That was a good time.
Like, did you make a bet or were you gambling?
That's
Well-
what gambling is?
No, but a bet is a one-time thing. I bet you can't hurdle your own leg. That is one instance of gambling versus sitting at a table gambling.
Constantly hurtling your own leg? Is that a common bet?
I mean, it's the first thing that came to mind.
What would hurdling your own leg?
Yeah, when you
Even
when you use
mean-
like your right hand to grab your left ankle and you try to jump over it.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's not what I did.
Kind of like
It
this.
Well,
Right?
I say,
Was that right?
yeah, like that.
Oh, cool. Give me money.
We didn't bet.
You bet me. You said, I bet you can't hurdle your own leg, and I did.
We didn't agree on any terms.
yeah,
Damn.
you have to set how much money you want for that.
But that is effectively one instance of a gamble.
Okay.
Gambling, doing it continually, as if, double or nothing, triple or nothing, quadruple or nothing, or more appropriately, like cards at a table where there's rounds.
Okay.
Yeah,
At least we know I can hurdle my own leg now. Anyway.
I beat Goban at poker.
All right, I've never been good at poker, so that definitely didn't get that from me.
Hop, schnapps, and barley.
So, do you, like, win against him regularly?
Well, sometimes him, sometimes customers, and sometimes my friends. They're my age.
Okay, does that happen at the bar? Does that happen in the Drunk Duck, or are we doing that elsewhere?
Well, I mean, sometimes I'll play a little bit at school, but mostly I'll bring friends with me to Drunk Duck, and there's a little spot in the back that we set up just for us, and yeah, we'll play poker.
This has been a whirlwind of not okay, suddenly okay, not okay again, suddenly okay again. I think I landed on okay with that.
A secret back room in the back of a bar where people gather to gamble and their children?
No, it sounded like, I don't know, it sounds like you're like setting up a tent behind one of the booths.
Yeah, it's like it's like a pillow fort sort of thing. Pretty nice.
All right, so yeah, no, I think I'm okay with this.
Usually, like, Barley will stand outside, bring us some drinks and stuff. Obviously, like, my friends will have... Well, when my friends are there, I'll have, like, soda. I drink with hops, schnapps, and barley. Obviously, I don't have alcohol with my friends. That's only with hops, schnapps, and barley.
All right,
That's
so
better.
Okay, we're still good. I'm still on the okay with this side of this.
But you gamble with some of the patrons?
Yeah, sometimes. Like usually hops will point out some people and say, you should go join them. I bet you'd do good there. And then I do. Sometimes I win a lot of money.
Sometimes the hustle works. I don't know what to tell you.
That's great, giving a teenager a mark like that.
You're looking at me like I shouldn't be doing this, but you haven't raised a kid.
That's true.
It's usually a lot of fun too, because they're really funny.
I assume they think they can beat you no problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, ha, you're so little, and then I win.
The only problem with this is when she then decides to turn it on me. So until that happens, we're good.
How much money would you say you make in terms of amount of gold, I guess?
Probably the most I ever won in one game was 500 gold.
500 gold from one game?
Yeah.
Damn.
But usually it's not that much. That just was...
Drunk spenders
a
tend to
really
be big
good
spenders.
How much do you pay any one of your crew people?
Employees?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. How much do you pay any of your employees?
I don't know. That's not usually my department. I want to say it's about $1,500 a week.
So you pay him 1,500 a week, and she's made 500 gold off a single game. That's awesome. You must have like a whole stash somewhere. You're just waiting to burn through.
And this is the first I'm hearing of that. Where's my cut?
Well, you didn't win the game.
Yeah, but I own the bar.
And?
We're going to discuss this later.
I don't know. I think you won that money fair and square. I think that's yours.
Yeah, that's mine. We can play a game if you want.
Yeah, you can play her for it.
Well, apparently she's way more practiced than I am, and I just admitted I'm not good at poker.
It's a gamble.
No, it's not. That's a flat-out hustle. Hey, I know you're bad at this. I know you got weak shins. Can I kick you in the shin? I said, I think we're going to talk about that later. I don't mind that you're doing it. I want to cut. Might have to facilitate this a little more if I want my cut from that.
Discuss some terms.
I give Hop, Schnapps, and Barley a cut because they taught me how to play.
All right, I'm more okay with that then, because at least somebody's getting a cut.
I think I should take notes on your parenting method.
Always get a cut?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I'm okay with that.
That's only the most I've ever won too, and that was like a lot. Those people were very drunk.
But still, that's impressive. And was that recent, or were you even younger?
I think I was about a year ago.
So, yeah, a 12-year-old making 500 gold, that's substantial. I'm impressed.
I mean, it's also pretty easy to piss away if you don't know what you're doing with it.
That's true.
I still have it though. I don't know what I'm gonna buy.
What's that, like 1,000 chickens?
What would I do with 1,000 chickens?
I don't even know what you do with one chicken.
You'd eat for a lot of days.
I could start a
Or
farm.
I guess eat a lot for one day. No, the more I think about it, the more I needed to add more words to that sentence. If you kill them all in one day, you eat a lot in one day. Because my brain was going either kill them all or don't kill any of them.
That's a good mentality to have.
You can't kill one chicken, the rest will be sad.
So kill them all, and then you're sad.
Then I have a lot of chicken for one day.
What could you buy with 500 gold?
Low tier magic items, actually. You know the eyepiece that boosts detect magic.
Mm-hmm.
That's 1,000 gold. And that's a solidly useful magic item. I want to say like troll gut rope's probably about 500. Are you not familiar with that one?
No.
It is a bag full of troll intestine, which has been treated to basically be rope. The beauty of it is kept alive, so that if you cut it, the rope grows back.
Nice.
So you effectively have limitless rope,
Nice.
but it is intestines.
Do you think?
That's all right.
Do you think maybe it's enough money that I could get a magical pet?
Oh, that's a lot of responsibility.
But not your responsibility.
That's not true. I live over the bar, which means she lives over the bar.
That is true. What kind of magical pet would you like?
I don't know. Maybe I want it to be soft and fluffy.
All right, so nothing dire.
Would you offer up a dire animal as a pet?
I was going to say maybe a dire rabbit.
What's that?
Very aggressive rabbit.
Well, I don't want it to bite me.
That will
But-
probably
but if
stab
it's-
you with its bones.
Oh,
Okay, so I think we're going to delve into a monstrous moment. It's a little late here. We're just going to go flat out for dire animals and just kind of cover all of them as broadly as possible.
I mean, I can shed some light on this too.
Oh, I'm not sure of that. So go ahead and you start us off, and we see where this goes.
There's plenty of species of dire animals. I mean, almost any animal can be dire. There's dire boars, dire wolves, dire humans, dire rabbits, apparently, and they all share a very common characteristic, which is that their bones are very sharp and stick out of their skin.
It's not like a compound fracture kind of bone.
No,
though.
it's like a bone spur that has grown out of the skin and is now on the outside that could be used as a unhanded weapon.
Yeah, but like dire badgers aren't just like covered in spikes. They don't turn into porcupines.
No.
It's key locations to help them be more durable.
Right. They all tend to be bigger and more aggressive, though.
That's true.
I don't want a pet that can stab me with its bones.
I mean, I imagine the chompers on a dire rabbit would be ridiculous.
You know, I'm not sure it affects the teeth. I don't think it turns an herbivore into a carnivore.
No, but I mean, it would. If it's affecting its bones to the point where it's growing out of its skin, teeth are bones. I mean, even I know that much.
Yeah, but I mean, you're gonna have to deal with that problem with a rabbit anyway. The teeth just always grow, and they gotta chew them down.
Yeah, but when those teeth are harder than normal, they have to chew on harder things.
Nope. Wait, I'm thinking of rats. That's rats.
No, rabbits.
Rabbits too?
Yep. If you have certain breeds of rabbits as pets, you actually have to clip their front teeth.
All right.
It's real fucked up.
Okay, fine. So not a dire animal then. But that doesn't change the fact that we're finishing this up. Yeah, they're basically just bigger, more aggressive, more armored versions of animals. Now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't heard too many herbivores that are dire. Usually you hear like bear, boar, wolf. I hate to say dire dinosaur. That could be terrifying.
They are. I mean, I don't know if I've specifically seen a dire dinosaur. Feel like that's something I would remember. But I know back in the war, there were dire everything everywhere. They were ruthless and were willing to pretty much eat anything that was in front of them. So,
yeah. Comment retracted. Maybe not a dire rabbit, but something. I mean, I tried rust monsters for a while. Do you remember that?
Rust monsters?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're the beetle things.
Yeah. They're not the best pets, but they're good. They're good guard dogs, or they can be anyway. I know how you feel.
yeah, I was going to say, we're clear that they're not around anymore, right?
I mean, they still exist.
Well, not in the immediate vicinity.
No, and I'm not using them at the Drunk Duck anymore either.
Okay, good.
So I guess I can't have one of those then.
I didn't say can't. Shouldn't is probably more appropriate. We can have this discussion at home. There's got to be something we can land on that's going to be low enough maintenance that I'm not really running the risk of having poop in my bed.
I would recommend a squirrel.
Ooh, a squirrel?
That's not magic, though.
No, but it's fun.
This is fun.
Friendly.
Are there magical squirrels?
I mean, not off the top of my head.
Can't any animal become magic, though? With enough magic?
Well, yeah, dragon blood will fuck up any species. Or are you just simply saying that if I wish an animal is magic enough, it'll become magic?
No, I mean specifically enchanting an animal. This flying squirrel can now actually fly, not just glide.
That sounds great.
That sounds like a conversation we're going to have later.
Or this horse is now constantly on fire.
That also sounds great.
That's kind of a nightmare.
I get it.
Do you get it?
I do get it, yeah.
I want Recorder to help me find a pet.
We could workshop something.
I don't think that. I think that's going to lead towards a mount, and I don't need you to ride an animal through the city.
But I could.
Oh, what about a bullet? Can you ride bullets?
No.
Ooh.
They eat people, not that.
You gotta train it, though.
Okay. Yeah, I know you don't have to worry about it because you're not people, because you are not flesh and blood, but they like eating humans.
Mine wouldn't eat humans. It would be a good bullet.
I'm not sure that's how this works.
Well, there's only one way to know for sure.
To not get one and not have to deal with the problem. Look, I'm game for trying stuff, but not if it eats people. Not if we know it eats people.
Okay. So maybe the flaming horse then.
Yeah, that's fair. That probably doesn't eat people. I was thinking more like a pseudo-dragon. See if we can't find you one that likes you. Because that's more of a friend than a pet.
That sounds pretty cool.
A pseudo-dragon? I know dragons, and I know pseudo-dragon means not dragon. So is it a dragon or
They
more
are
like
to
a dragonfly?
They are to an extent.
Okay.
Picture dragon, but small, like the size
Is
of
this
a
a Monstrous Moments Part 2?
I mean, it can be if we're just gonna delve this deep into it. Joanna, is that
Sure,
is that where we're
yeah,
going with this? Fine.
let's go for it.
Second monstrous moment, pseudo dragons. They are dragons. They don't have the ability to speak as well, but they're telepathic.
Okay.
They can share thoughts.
So yes, magic pet.
Yeah. The problem is calling them that will upset it pretty dearly. Mm-hmm. They don't like to be thought of as pets. They're friends.
Okay, magic friend.
Yeah.
They like to have pet names like Cuddles or Fluffy.
Oh.
It's a vanity thing that I don't quite know how translates
Yeah,
from
'cause
draconic blood.
I'm back to pet now.
They don't like to be pets, but they like to have pet names. And it's really more of a friend, which is the thing that has to pick you. We could check out like a rookery and see if there's anything we could do there, but it's not something you go get and is yours now. It has to accept you. It has to be a part of you. And they're good. They're very similar to dragons. They like to collect things. They have their own small hordes, but they are, in fact, roughly the size of a cat. So,
Do they follow the same chromatic scale as regular dragons?
no. Pseudo dragons, if I remember it, are usually good. They don't. They're definitely not evil, but I'm pretty sure they tend towards good. They just kind of operate on their own scale. I don't think I've seen too many that break away from the rust coloration. Now that I think about it, I think they're all not uniform in color, but it's usually pretty rusty to brown to red.
Okay.
I can work with that.
I mean, it's a pet friend that
can speak to your brain. That sounds pretty cool. Can it fly?
Yes.
Is it big enough, strong enough to maybe carry her?
Oh, God, no.
So she can't ride it.
No.
That's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
And now that I'm thinking about it, it could probably also help her gamble.
Yeah.
How so? Oh, because it
It can read thoughts.
Wow.
I'm not sure it would be willing to do so, but that seems like a good use of your hoard if you want to give it to a small dragon to protect it.
I bet it would love that. That would be perfect.
Sounds like a pretty awesome pet to me.
Well, we can see about that then. How's that work?
Perfect.
All right.
Let's go right now.
All right. So what's next in the plate? You want to take a look at Recorder's junk?
Are you sure you want to take a look at my junk with your daughter here? I mean, sometimes it tends to be a little violent.
I mean, you're also still not wearing pants, so I'm pretty sure she's seen weaponry in anything you have to offer, so I think we're good.
Okay.
Hey guys. Do you see those people
Oh,
over there?
Where?
Oh, over there, past my junk.
Oh, yeah, that is a bunch of movement. What is that?
I don't know.
Nope.
They're kind of far away.
Is that Teddy?
Teddy was kidnapped, though.
Yeah, that looks like a few ogres, and I'm pretty sure they're holding on to Teddy. Hang on. Quiet.
My wonderful secretary has arranged this fantastic vacation. I wasn't expecting it. I had a great deal of paperwork to do. Well, a great deal of paperwork to hand off to the people who
yeah,
do my paperwork.
That is Teddy.
That is Teddy.
You know how it is when you're a busy man with
Was the ransom paid?
to do. I'm a
Was
picture
there a
guy,
ransom?
and I can't
I
be sitting around
don't
with
know.
paperwork
Hey,
all
Tara,
day.
you want to come with me on this?
Yeah.
All right. Quick thing. This is recon work. Gotta stay quiet, all right?
Okay.
Don't come after us. We got this.
oh, okay.
Be back as soon as we can.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Oh, all right. I guess I'll play us out this time. Sam was played by Tucker Avery. Recorder was played by Kenny Boucher. Tara, Sam's daughter, was played by Amy Desmond. Theodore Moore-Smith was played by Alex Williamson. Recorder and Sam logo was created by Alana Heyman. Music was created by Dominic Rudinsky. If you want to ask the show a question, leave a comment or send an email to recorderandsam@gmail.com.
Recorder and Sam now has our own Discord server where you can feel free to socialize with other people who listen, and just as well, we have our own little room where you can go ahead and leave questions at the bar.
We'll see you in the next episode.